Hello everybody, welcome into Ghost Racing Network, where we are getting ready for some preseason action here for the Thundering Herd Series at Texas Motor Speedway. Looks like a pretty small field out here, so this is kind of going to be a little bit of a more fun race and a little bit more laid back broadcast. But either way, we are excited to get this thing going. Let's start with your grid tonight. Starting on the pole is going to be Joshua Schwartz in the 64 machine. Starting to his outside, and second here, as I was trying to set something up, is going to be Sean Kaiser in the 24 Jeff Gordon DuPont paint scheme. Third is going to be Aaron Mack. He has Kyle Hess to his outside. Fifth and sixth will be Ryan Rose and Ryan Jackson. Row four, Josh Emerson and Jeremy Osborne, one of the regulars that I am used to seeing some of these races that I do. Starting ninth is going to be, looks like Barry Neal, Peter Murphy in 10th. 11th, Mike Morkrid. 12th is going to be James Riley, and that will be the last car in the field tonight. As we noted, was going to be a small field, and that shows you that right there. Let's go now into your race info. We don't have too much info on tonight. Looking at the weather, though, it is going to be 73 degrees Fahrenheit, 66% humidity, clear skies, wind at 13 miles an hour. And these cars, of course, it is the NASCAR, Gen 4 Cup Series. It is going to be a 50-lap event tonight, but these cars are already going to be a handful. Going to put on some great racing around this 1.5 mile length track. Turns 1 and 2 are much different than turns 3 and 4, and we will see how everybody can handle that here tonight. But that wind might affect these guys a little bit. Like I said, they're already out of control enough, and throwing in maybe a little bit of extra wind in one of the turns is going to make them a lot more looser. That back end is not going to want to stay to the track, and I'm hoping we don't, but I'm a little bit nervous here that we may see some cautions, especially as these tires wear out. But we are getting ready to find out. Pace car getting ready to pull off as we take a look here at your pole sitter, Joshua Schwartz. Going to be leading the field to green on the inside. Either way, we are going to see some high speeds and some good side-by-side action here tonight. The Texas 75 here for the Thundering Herd Series. Preseason is back underway. Good restart here for the 64. He gets ahead of the rest of the field, who is going to quickly separate out and try to get lined up. Again, this is not one of the restrictor plate tracks, so this is going to be a battle of who can save tires, who can find the quickest line around, and who can keep their car under them. We still see guys really moving around here on the first lap. A lot of guys diving low. Their cars are not handling so well, but up front, the 64 is looking stout off of turn 4 for the first time. He is going to lead the first lap. Sean Kaiser trying to settle on a little rhythm here. No stage breaks like we're used to seeing here tonight. So these guys are just going to be going for it all 50 laps. Not sure yet exactly on if they will have to make a pit stop or not. Wasn't briefed exactly on the amount of fuel percent that they're going to have. But here we go. Looks like the 58. Oh, we got one on the backstretch. Really loose. Almost up into the wall. Maybe did touch the wall. And it looks like that is going to be, I believe, Peter Murphy. No, Josh Emerson, the 73. Excuse me. Peter Murphy is going to go by, though, on the outside. Not quite able to make it stick. The 73 clips the grass. Got to be a little careful. The grass here at Texas is a little different than a lot of the tracks we go to. I don't know what it is, but it just, you can't see sometimes if you're too close behind the driver in front of you. And if you get on that grass, you are going sideways. It could be over. Further back, looks like we're about to see a battle for third place here, as Aaron Mack and Ryan Rose are getting ready to go at it. It looks like the 31 is going to win that battle for now. He is starting to find a little bit of speed here in the early going. And speaking of speeds, look at the bottom right, the speeds these guys are getting up to as they barrel into turn 1, almost 194 miles an hour. That is much faster than you're going to see any of the other series getting up to here. Oh, the 31's really loose. He has to get out of the throttle. That opens it up to the 58 and the 22, who are both going to go by. Barry Neal takes advantage, and now you got to watch out, as we might see Kyle Hess try to sneak around these guys as well. Cool thing about these Gen 4 cars is it makes it such a momentum-based track. All it takes is one slight slip-up, and you could be going towards the back. We are seeing that battle for the lead start to close up just a little bit, currently sitting at about 0.4 seconds, but Sean Kaiser continues to get a little bit bigger and bigger in the mirror of that 64 car. So far, 5 laps completed, so we are a 10th of the way through this race. And normally we would say this for later, but I think pretty early on here, let's do a Thundering Herd Series. Crank it up. Here we go. And that is going to do it for tonight's segment, or mini segment, I guess, if you will, of Crank It Up. Up front, the battle for the lead continues to get tighter. The 24 has almost now gotten to the back bumper of Joshua Swartzen. We're seeing this 64 start to get really loose. That's going to be the case for a lot of these guys. A lot of throttle control going to be in play. And let's actually ride on board here with your leader, currently Joshua Swartz. Watch the hands and listen to the throttle. I'll tell you what, one of the wildest things about what you just saw right there is that car almost started to turn into the corner before he got to it. And that's just how much power these things are making out of the rear end. The 24 looks like he is finding a little bit of clean air. He kind of enters in the middle, drops down to the bottom, but the closer he gets, the harder it's going to be, as that thing is not going to handle quite as well, as he will get further and further into that dirty air. Barry Neal is up to third, up 6 spots from where he started in that blue 22 machine. And he is looking like one of your fastest guys out on track right now. Ryan Rose up 1 spot. A couple guys maybe going in the wrong direction right now is going to be Aaron Mack, who is in 10th, down 7 spots. Josh Emerson currently 2 laps down. He is the only car laps down. And it looks like Robert Denton and James Riley have retired from the race, so we are now down to 11 cars, as we are also 11, now 12 laps in here to the Texas 75. So still a ways to go before we even get to halfway. But if you are just tuning in, we thank you for being out here tonight. I know we got a small field, but we might see a couple of good battles here. As the battle, not just for the lead, but I mean, you see this third car, Barry Neal, he is continuing to close up on these two. And if he can get there once they start, or if they start battling, I guess I should say, then he might get there a lot quicker. Comparing his lap times, looking like 30 flat to 34 range in the last 4 laps. Compare that to your leader, and it's a 33 to a 36. So that third place car continuing to run the fastest laps. It looks like Sean Kaiser is pretty close, still running a little bit slower though overall. Ryan J. Rose, he is currently sitting back in the 4th position. Kyle Hess 5th. Peter Murphy 6th. Jeremy Osborne 7th. Ryan Jackson, looks like he does have some damage to the right front. He is currently in 8th. 9th, Mike Morkrid. In 10th, Aaron Mack. BB says, hello everyone, hello Austin. How's it going, BB? Got a small, kind of chill broadcast for you here tonight. The Thundering Herd Series, one of the recruitment races, just some preseason action. These guys having a good time, getting some practice in the Gen 4 Cup cars at Texas. And we are watching them go at it. Tell you what, he got it down to about 0.3 seconds, and then it kind of held there. Now we're seeing it start to extend back out. And you kind of got to think clean air in these cars might mean a little bit more than other cars, because, you know, the tires, once they lose grip, you are going to want as much downforce from aero as you can possibly get. Oh, the 64 got really loose. This is going to allow the 24 to close it up big time. He makes up about half a tenth there just down the backstretch. And we will see if we have pit stops. Like I said, we're not sure on whether or not these guys can make it on fuel, but the way they are already struggling, only 15 laps into the run, you got to think making it another, what's going to be over 30 laps on a set of tires is going to be pretty brutal. We'll see if they can do it. Barry Neal is now looking to the inside of Sean Kaiser. He is trying to get a run here down the back. There's going to be nothing there. And does he try to work the outside, or does he go to the inside? Looks like he's going to try the inside again. The 24 gets out of the throttle. Is going to take the air off the nose of the 22, but you see just how stable Neal looks off of 4 there. Try to hang in the draft here down the front stretch. Turn 1 and 2 is usually the better turn to make up whatever ground you're going to make. It's a lot flatter, I guess you could say. There's not nearly as much banking in 1 and 2 than there is in 3 and 4. A little bit more of a sweeping and a little bit wider of a turn, but overall, that's where you got to use a little bit more throttle control. And that's where I still think we're going to see the most time being made up. Ryan Rose still sitting back here in 4th, up 1 spot from where he started. Kyle Hess has not moved much. Neither has Peter Murphy or Jeremy Osborne. Mike Morkrid is the last car, sorry, not the last car, the second to last car on the lead lap in 9th. And Aaron Mack, who is rounding out the top 10, is currently the last car on the lead lap. Looking to the inside again goes the 22. He is now hanging side by side, but he's not quite going to be able to hold it, or is he? He's trying to hang on the quarter panel of the 24. Not going to be able to do it, but he's got his nose far enough. The 24 is going to try to cut it off. He blocks down low. And believe it or not, as hard as they are battling, they are still catching up to, and now potentially in the spot to make a pass on the leader, Joshua Swartz. I believe I've been saying Schwartz, but I think it's Shores, so I do apologize for that if you are watching Joshua. A lot of new guys out here. If we see them in the actual series, which will be starting up soon, make sure you go check it out. The Thundering Herd Series going to be on Sundays, and it will be broadcasted here on Ghost Racing Network. And I believe, again, I don't want to officially say all these things, even though I'm pretty sure on the Brandon Broadfoot, it's going to be money to enter each race, but there will be payouts each race. There will be a championship fund that Brandon Broadfoot's going to kick off by putting $500 into from his own pocket. And that fund will go up each week, so make sure that you go check it out. And some of the racing that we have seen tonight, although it's not been a lot of guys, the guys that it's been has been pretty darn good. As we might be starting to see a fourth car. No, actually, that is going to be the lapper. That is Emerson, Josh Emerson to be exact. He is on newer tires, and that'll show you just how much of an effect new tires has, as he is probably going to get up and go right around these guys. We'll see if any of them can use him as a pick, maybe, as we are now just about 4 laps away here from halfway. Normally we would see a stage on lap 25, but couldn't quite get race control set up tonight, so we couldn't get it set up. Talking about another setup, a setup for the pass for the lead here on the backstretch. The 24, Sean Kaiser, now to the inside. Can the 64 hold him off? He's looked pretty good out in front, but if he loses that clean air, he may really struggle. Still working the outside, but he's going to wash up, tags the wall a little bit, and he is going to have to give up that first place spot to the 24 now. The 22 is also going to be looking to sneak by on the inside. And yeah, the 64 washes way up there. You can tell he is starting to struggle. Maybe used up his stuff a little bit more. He's getting a little bit loose on the outside. He holds it together, but he is now in danger of losing second. And sure enough, he is going to fall back to that third place spot. Zachary Lima says, hi, bud. Good to see you out here in the chat. Is Zachary Lima for Dale Cup. I kind of wish we had some of the Dale Cup guys in here right now spicing things up, but we got to see them last night in the money race. And there is a PGR All-Star race coming up on Sunday where we are going to see some of the best going at it, or at least that is rumor, I should say. Not positive on that just yet. We will have more info as it goes on, but that is the rumor. For now, there goes the 73, Josh Emerson. He is on new tires, and he is working around the first of these leaders. Going to slide in line. Ooh, might have slid a little too aggressive there. He's going to be able to keep it down, though. The 31, Aaron Mack, you see he's got a little damage on the right side. That is from a Texas stripe that we are going to see Ryan Jackson get a couple more of. He had already hit the wall a couple times, and he hits it again there in turn 2. Let's take a look here at the track map. And it looks like everybody is still... Nope, we've only seen the one car go a lap down. Well, as I say that, we are going to see Murphy also go a lap down right now. Peter Murphy, but everybody's kind of starting to get a little spread out. It looks like the seventh place rather is in for tires. That's Jeremy Osborne. Looks like he's doing a good job keeping this car clean, but he is going to split this thing in half. We'll see how it works out. As BB says, looking better every day on that, Austin. Well, don't say too much, BB. We're trying to keep this thing under wraps. But up front, the 24 still leading. He is starting to put a little bit of a gap here on the 22 and the 64. Joshua Swartz, strong run early, but all of a sudden he is starting to fall back. And I think maybe this would be a good time to go and get yourself some tires, if nothing else. See if it'll somehow work. But right now, the driver out of Bellingham, Massachusetts, continues to lead the way. Going back here to Aaron Mack in 4th. Still continues to stay out. Then here we go. The strategy I called, so be it. That's going to be what Joshua Swartz is going to try. Comes in. It's going to take some tires, and we'll see what strategy works out. The early pit strategy or the later pit strategy is it looks like Mike Morkerid is also in. As BB continues to tease me in the chat, but the 24, Sean Kaiser, still continued dominating. That 73 is giving a little bit of trouble to the 22. He is a lap car, but the 22, I bet right now, would like to be able to focus out front. And even though the 73 isn't passing him for position, it's almost like he's not quite fast enough to get around, but he also has newer tires, so he's not really going away just yet. Oh, the 73 gets on the apron, and he somehow holds on to it. That was a really, really close call right there from Josh Emerson. But he is going to lose sight of the back bumper now of Barry Neal. Sean Kaiser still continuing to stay out. We are now over halfway through this race, only 23 to go. That is not very long here at Texas Motor Speedway. In the 22, rocketing down the backstretch here in the draft of the 24. We will see if now, with no pressure out back, how long he gets up there. You see the difference in lines. It looks like the 24 running a little bit of a bigger arc into turns 3 and 4. The 22 getting in a little bit lower. Part of that is he's trying to get a little bit cleaner air on the nose, but he is going to come down to the pits now. And now when will we see Sean Kaiser pit? These two are pretty close. So I think after the pit stop cycle out, we might see a new leader. Aaron Mapp continues to stay out. So does Ryan Jackson and Kyle Hess. Joshua Schwartz is leading the guys that are out on new tires, followed by Peter Murphy, Josh Emerson, Jeremy Osborne, and Mike Morkrid in 10th. 11th is Ryan J. Rose, but him, Robert Denton, and James Riley have all retired from the race. Going back up front, you got to think that there's no way here, surely, that the 24 tries to stay out for the rest of this thing. Oh, looks like Mike Morkrid has crashed and yellow flag is out. And there he is sitting on the backstretch, and based off what I'm seeing for the tire marks, this is kind of a tough one to say. He either got loose off 2 or loose coming off the pits. I'm thinking he got loose coming off turn 2, but it is going to draw the first yellow of the night here with 21 laps to go. Let's take a look at it. He's already spun. It looks like he did some pirouettes here on the wall. Ooh, this thing looks like it is going to get loose on him in a big way out of turn 2. He's having a decent run around the 10th position, and you see it's going to start to come around. He's trying to get that wheel back to the right. It's just continuing to come around. Ooh, big hit on that inside wall. That's going to do a good amount of damage to the front end, and then he backs that thing into the wall. Stops it from coming out on the track, so he did a good job of staying down low. But either way, that did bring the caution out for iRacing. Then he's going to park it there. Not sure if he's going to be done for the night yet or not. Let's take a couple more views of this here. Next one we'll do is we'll ride on board with them so you can see just how hard it is to recover these things. He was probably trying to stay in the throttle here. Let's take a listen. And you see, sure enough, he tried to hold on to it, couldn't quite do it. That thing spun around and headed in the wrong direction. To bring out your first yellow flag of the night. Looks like he is still in the race. Does have some front and rear damage. I believe these guys all have a fast repair, so he could go in and use it if he decided, but it looks like he's choosing not to. One of my favorite things, I'll tell you what, about Texas is this beautiful looking front stretch with the way they have these caution lights set up. How cool is that? Caution lights going all the way down the catch fence of the front stretch for the fans to see, the drivers to see. It looks really, really cool from the on-track view, especially as the sun continues to set here. And taking a look at your weather, you can see right there that it is currently 8 o'clock, so the sun getting ready to go down. Wind hanging around at 12 miles an hour, but the direction is varying a little bit, and so is the speed now at 11. Track temp nice and cool at 75, and that's probably for the best, because if this track was hot like we're used to seeing sometimes, it would make these guys really, really struggle. I'll tell you who this was a good break for. Sean Kaiser in the 24. He had a lot of guys a lap down, and now he's going to be able to go in, take his fresh tires, and maintain the lead. The question is, can he hold on to it? Actually, I take it back here. Looks like it's actually, no, he should be in the lead. I believe all these guys staying out are what is going to be the free pass cars. We do get one lucky dog, and then anybody that stays out, assuming the leaders go in, will get the free pass. We should be getting the one to go signal this next time. We are going to take our one and only break so that I can get a quick drink. But we will go Ghost Racing Network side by side, and we'll be right back. Back live here at Texas Motor Speedway with 18 laps to go and some preseason action for the Thundering Herd Series. Your current leader is going to be Sean Kaiser here. It's a little bit of an interesting look as Kaiser looks to be stuck in the back, although he is your leader. The field's kind of in a weird scenario here because you see we got certain guys that are on the lead lap, certain guys that aren't. And I'm not sure if my SDK is maybe glitching out a little bit here or what. We're going to wait to find out. I think a lot of these guys are still looking to get the wave around. But we're going to go ahead and give it a quick refresh to see if we can find out. Caution is still out, and we are still at 18 laps to go. That part is all accurate. And see if the 41 is sure enough going to go by the pace car. There they go. So that's how it's going to work out. They're going to get their lap back right here, and they will get back behind the 24, who is your leader, Sean Kaiser. Second, Aaron Mack. Third, Ryan Jackson. Fourth, Kyle Hess. And fifth, Joshua Schwartz there, who you see getting his lap back. Barry Neal, watch for him to be fast here as we come to the end of this thing. Guys should not need tires anymore for the rest of the way. However, it's still enough laps to where handling is going to become an issue. So if you save your tires a little bit here in the early going, it may help you significantly towards the end. It looks like the 31 did use his fast pair, Aaron Mack. He showed a little bit of speed in the first 5 laps, and we'll see what he can show here as it is going to be 16 laps to go. Once we go green, the 73 to the inside. The driver behind him is going to go to the outside. I believe that is indeed Mike Morkrid. I think so, at least. Josh Emerson, Jeremy Osborne, Peter Murphy, Barry Neal, Joshua Schwartz. It's actually Kyle Hess, excuse me, Kyle Hess. Currently running in that 4th position. All right, here we go. Pace car is getting ready to pull off. 16 laps to go at Texas. We saw a really good battle shaping up there. We saw some pit stops. It mixed the field up, and you see that top line is only one car right now. Let's see what happens. Here we go. 16 laps to go at Texas into the Geico restart zone. Comes Sean Kaiser. Green flag is back in the air. 24 gets a pretty good jump. Everybody getting through the gears. Looks like we almost saw 3 wide already. That did not take long, but it looks like out to an early lead. The 24, Sean Kaiser, is going to try to pull away. We didn't see him have the fastest speed in the short run, but he may have been saving some stuff. He knows now it's go time, and if he can pull away enough, he won't have to worry about anybody else. The 31, Aaron Mack, is trying to hold off a charging Peter Murphy. Unfortunate news for Peter Murphy is that he is currently a lap down, so he is just fighting to be the lucky dog. The 31, Aaron Mack, though, still holding on to second, and it is going to be Ryan Jackson back in that 3rd position, but he's about to be under fire from a couple guys. Joshua Emerson still sits 2 laps down, but Kyle Hess, Joshua Schwartz, and Barry Neal are all drivers that are on the lead lap looking to take advantage of these tires early. 73 trying that high side, but you see he gets a big arc. The 64 showing that speed that we saw from him earlier. And being back on the lead lap, it'll be interesting to see here if Schwartz has enough time to get all the way back to the lead. It's currently scoring him in 3rd. So I think the scoring tower might be a little off today. He is in, maybe he is in 3rd. It's really throwing it off with all the guys that we have sitting the lap down but are still up here in the mix racing for it. The gap up front is up to a 2nd now for Sean Kaiser in the 24 car. He is just looking to keep pulling away from everybody here. The 24 DuPont car is going to be under a little threat here soon from Peter Murphy, but that is only to get his lap back. So you got to think the 24 maybe doesn't battle him too hard here. The biggest threat looming in the background right now is going to be probably Joshua Schwartz, to be honest. I mean, Aaron Mack is 2nd, but Joshua is making up a lot of time here. He's got the 22, Barry Neal, hanging pretty close. They're trying to get around the 73 of Joshua Emerson, but here we go. 12 laps to go at Texas. Into turn 1, you see all backfire out of the pipes. These guys are out of the throttle for quite a long time. Let's take one more ride on board with one of these guys, this time from the gearbox. And we'll take a listen to the different throttle inputs. This is out back of Joshua Schwartz's car as he looks at that mean-looking 22 machine of Barry Neal trying to catch up. So you hear him in turns 3 and 4. Usually that is a wide-open turn in most series, not in the Gen 4 Cup. They're just running too much speed. But listen down here in 1 and 2. They will scrub off a lot more speed. And I mean, there you go. You hear it there. Listen to how long he was out of the gas. The 22 trying the high side. He's got to run, but he's going to get a little bit loose and not quite make as much momentum as he initially thought he was going to. The gap up front is now 1.5 seconds. Aaron Mack not looking like he's going to have anything for Sean Kaiser, but Joshua Schwartz might have something for Aaron in the 31 car if he can catch up. You see the gap between those two right now is a little bit over a second. So he does have his work cut out for him here with only 10 laps to go, but I think he can do it still. Try and still desperately get around the 73. Oh man, there was almost contact right there. Side by side down the back, but the 64 has to bail and get back to side by side with the 22. He continues to work the high side, and it is going to work this time. He gets around the 64, and he should have a lot of momentum here down the front if he chooses to take it. Can he get around the 73? Barry Neal now up to third, up 6 spots from where he started. And this is a good run for the 22. These are the battles that we look to see happen here in the Thundering Herd Series once it gets started. Of course, on a bigger scale, there's contact. 2 guys around the 64 and the 73. This is going to draw the caution. That's Josh Emerson and Joshua Schwartz was having a heck of a night. The 73 down under the inside wall. And it was so good for so long. And went so bad so quickly. This is not what Sean Kaiser wanted to see. He had this thing all but wrapped up, and now he is going to have to try to get another good restart. Let's take a look at it here. Just looked like 2 guys racing really hard. Contact was made. And I'll tell you, the 73 is already out of shape here. This might be similar to the crash we saw earlier with Mike Morkrid. And let's ride first on board actually here in the cockpit. As this is Josh Emerson. Let's take a listen and watch his hands. And I mean, sure enough, there you go. You see, he's just loose. He's trying to chase it down the track, and unfortunately, after a certain point, he did run in to the car racing below him, the 64 Joshua Schwartz. Take a look at it here from the chopper view. Pretty significant contact. They both slide. The 64 is able to lock the brakes to 73 knots, so he backs up pretty hard into the outside wall. The one trying to sneak by taps the wall, and then the 73 noses back into the wall. Let's take a couple more looks at it here. Here's the initial contact. Man, the one does a good job sneaking by. Unfortunately, though, wasn't able to escape the wall. That is Ryan Jackson. He may still have a fast car if he chooses to use it. You see, they almost made some more contact there. Thankfully, they didn't. But going back live up front, looks like Joshua Schwartz is being shown as your current leader, but that is because every single one of these guys, knowing the importance of tires, made sure to come back down and pit, drag race out of the pits for second. And it looks like it may have went to Barry Neal, so he will be starting on the front row. And I think that was the biggest threat to Sean Kaiser here, is if that 22 would be starting to his outside. Peter Murphy now back on the lead lap, and he currently is being scored third. Aaron Mack fourth, and Kyle Hess rounding out the top 5. Normally we would probably try to look to see if we could interview someone right now. Doesn't look like there's really anybody in the Discord. I mean, I'll tell you what, Jeremy Osborne, he got himself back on the lead lap, and he looks to be chilling out in the Discord, so we'll see if we can get a quick word with him. Hey Jeremy, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy? And we'll see if we can get him again here. Jeremy, this is Austin up in the booth. You got a copy? And it doesn't look like we're going to be able to get Jeremy right now, unfortunately. So we did try to talk to him there. He might just be kind of focused right now and maybe not wanting to talk, because he's still going to have a chance at winning this thing. He will be starting in 8th position. It should be a 4 or 3 to go shootout here. So at this point, you pretty much got to burn him if you got him in reference to the tires. And I know I said Osborne is back on the lead lap. Back on the lead lap. Technically, he's not quite yet, but he is sure enough about to be, as he will get the wave around right here this next lap. Been a pretty good race so far tonight. We didn't have a lot of guys, but nonetheless, we've only had 2 cautions. We have now had 4 cars retire from the race. That's going to be Mike Morkrid. Looks like Ryan Rose, Robert Denton, and James Riley. So still 9 guys out here running strong. 8 on the lead lap after Jeremy Osborne gets back here from the wave around. Joshua Emerson, unfortunately involved in that last wreck, is going to stay trapped 2 laps down. in that 73 machine, which does have a good amount of damage on the left and left rear. Looking for the 1 to go signal this time. And if you're Sean Kaiser, you don't get lane choice, unfortunately, tonight. So you got to start on the bottom. And I think that's got to be the preferred lane, but it's all about who gets the better jump. If the 22 can hang dead even, we have seen him show some speed on the outside line. But Sean Kaiser had the best long run car early, proved that he has just as good of a short run car on that last run, which was just about a handful of laps. And we will see who has the fastest car for this really short run, which is only going to be 2 to 3 laps here. The lights are off. That means 1 to go, so it will be officially a 4-lap shootout to decide this thing. Remember, if we take the white flag, then we will have no more cautions. We will finish this thing off under green. However, if the yellow were to fly before we hit 1 to go, then we will definitely at this point go into our first overtime. And we will keep doing that until we can finish this thing under green. Pretty good view here. The TV static view showing these guys. Got a couple warming their tires in the background. And it might sound a little silly, but I'll tell you what, I don't think you maybe want to warm your tires too much in these cars because they wear out tires so quick. I mean, just in that 3-lap run, you will see some guys get loose. There is a chance that we could see another caution here. It's just all going to depend, but don't think twice. But look at this Kyle Hess up here in 4th spot in the 86. He's been pretty quiet tonight, but going to be starting second on the outside of the 31, who showed a bit of speed on that last run as well. Joshua Schwartz still hanging around the top 5. Looks like not too much damage on that 64. If he had to use a fast spare, he did, but didn't make much contact in general, and he will also have another shot at it. Here we go. Pace car getting ready to pull off for hopefully the final time here at Texas. The Lone Star State, the Texas two-step, whatever you want to call it. One of these guys is probably going to try to win it. Green flag back in the air. Ooh, the 24 gets a huge jump, and that might be all he needs. Sean Kaiser pulling away right from the get-go. Barry Neal, though, did get clear of second. Can he make up the 4 to 5 car length gap, though, in just 2 laps? Everybody's trying to get those cold tires up. Oh, he's got a really big run off of 2 here. You see him starting to close the gap. He is going to have 3 more laps to do it next time. Further back, a couple guys battling it out. It looks like Joshua Schwartz and Kyle Hess are trying to get around the 31 of Aaron Mack. Let's keep the battle up front, though, because it's tightening up. Here comes Barry Neal. He's got the draft down the front stretch. And if he gets to him in turn 1, does he try to move on the outside? I think he's got to stay nice and patient here. Don't want to accidentally put yourself in a bad spot. You see he got down a little bit early in the corner there. The 24 taking a wider arc. Defensive approach, though, here for the 24 down the backstretch. He's got her on the 24, trying to take him lower and lower. How low can he go? Now he has to bail out of it. The 22 of Barry Neal has gotten to the inside, and he is looking to go by. 24 still fighting back on the high side. This is kind of racing we like to see here at Texas. Side by side down the front somehow. Sean Kaiser holds him off, but the 22 is trying to keep the inside line. Into turn 1, it's going to get really tight, but the 24 dives in a little bit harder, and he is going to get clear. The 22 with another run. Does he try the outside? No, he's going to take it back to the inside. The 24 not going to be able to block this one further back. The 31 continuing to lose positions. Joshua Schwartz, if these two make any contact, he might have a chance at being in it. They are side by side here out of 4, coming to the white flag one more time around. And if these two come like this to the line, it could be one of the closest finishes that I've ever seen here at Texas. Down onto the bottom, the 22 is going to go early. Does the 24 try to cross him up? No, he's going to try to hang on the right rear, but he's not going to be able to make it stick. New leader, Barry Neal, down the backstretch. He fought for it at the end. The 24 is going to take one more dive at it. It doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Out of turn 4 for the final time. Thunder Herd Series at Texas. Race winner goes to Barry Neal. And that was a heck of a way to get it done in style. Barry comes at the end of the race with a big move on the 24. I thought the 24 was actually going to be able to hold him off, but unfortunately couldn't quite do it. But man, I'll tell you what, for a 10 car, these guys put on a heck of a show there for the finish. That's what we like to see. I don't think that Barry is hanging around in the Discord. In fact, I don't think really anybody is tonight, as we did have a small field. So unfortunately, it's not looking like we are going to be able to get interviews from your top 3, but we will certainly watch him do his burnouts. And he earned it. Heck of a piece of drive in there from the 22. Taking a look here at your race results, we did see Veridale bring it home the win. Second, Sean Kaiser. Third, Joshua Schwartz. Fourth, Kyle Hess. Fifth, Peter Murphy. Sixth, Aaron Mack. Seventh, Ryan Jackson. Eighth, Jeremy Osborne. Ninth, Josh Emerson. 10th, Mike Morkrid. 11th, Ryan Rose. 12th, James Riley. And 13th, Robert A. Denton. And he is going to burn that thing down, I think, until it blows up. Doing a pretty cool kind of burnout here. Almost tracing that oval. And sure enough, he blows that thing up. And that is how we are going to finish another preseason race here tonight. It was a good one, and watch out. There might be some more potentially on the rise here. In fact, let's check one more thing before we leave here. Yep, sure enough. So we were just making sure that we did not have the top 3 in the booth, but we don't. So I want to thank everybody that came out tonight. We said I know it was a smaller broadcast, smaller audience, chilled out race, but man, they made that finish exciting. I hope everyone did enjoy, and we will see you next time.